Welcome to the version 1 Sam Teams Fireside Chat series. These videos cover a wide range of software related topics, and this video is part 4 of a series on recent IBM changes. I'm Gary Palmer. I'm joined today by my colleague Kevin Barnes, who's version 1's lead IBM licensing consultant. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
In our last video, you covered some of the key ways in which customers can mitigate their risk around these IBM changes. You're covering things like bundling, classification, and also how ILMT fits in.
Yeah.
You also mentioned the need to do these things at a process level rather than treat them just as individual tasks. So let me ask, what else can customers do to improve their position regarding license exposure?
Okay. If I was to kind of quote one more really key thing that customers can do, that would be in the space of lines of argument for an audit defense. So I'd strongly advise, when you're collating your IBM licensing baseline, that you listen really carefully to what the technicians are telling you. It may not just be the technicians, it may be commercial people, it may be finance people, could be a range of people, but listen really carefully, because frequently someone will share with you something which is gold dust in an audit. And if I give you kind of a couple of examples really to kind of illustrate that. So you might have a technician, you'll be talking about a piece of software that's deployed, and you'll find, that you appear to be exposed. You don't appear to have sufficient licenses to cover it. And a technician or a service owner or somebody will say, that product actually comes with another third-party product. It's bundled with it. You've already paid for it. And sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll be wrong. But you can find coverage for software licenses frequently. And a good example is SAP and DB2. You can find that SAP covers your DB2 license, your DB2 AESE license. So what you need to do in that case is you need to note it and then start to investigate it, ideally when you're doing your IBM licensing position. Because an IBM auditor will come along and they will say, you appear to be exposed here. And you'll say, nope, we're not. We're covered by this third-party product. And you show them the clause in the contract that you've got with that third party, and the IBM auditor will be, okay, you're right. But an IBM auditor will not necessarily know where you've got coverage with third parties. So that's a good example. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So the onus is on the customer to really know the terms of usage and the agreements they've got in place, not just with the main vendor, in this case IBM, but also other parties that might be, as you described, a bundling thing going on.
Absolutely. So that's a key example. So again, just to kind of recap, what we're trying to do here is you're listening really carefully to what you're being told during the course of producing a licensing baseline, to build up a line of argument that you can use in an audit defense. Another really good example is your technician may make a passing comment. They may say, that software's been the bane of my life. It's just not done what it's supposed to do. I've raised PMRs. There've been responses to those have been slow and ultimately unsatisfactory. So they're kind of bringing into question the performance of the software. Now, in your contracts, you will have clauses. You've got recourse to IBM to say this isn't working, returning software early on in the use of the software. But if you note that down, you note down all the PMRs that you've been raising, you may find that there are common problems with a product, and you should use those in an audit scenario. They'll be saying to you, you have an exposure of £500,000 for this product. and you'll say the product's not really fit for purpose. It's not been doing what it's supposed to do, what it was claimed it would be able to do. And those kind of arguments can weaken an auditor's stance, because you're showing that their product's not really doing what it's supposed to do. Now, there's all kinds of lines of argument that you can come up with, all kinds of angles to use in an audit, and those are two of them. Those are two of the good ones. There's plenty more, but the important thing to note is in an audit, it's a bit like the stock exchange. You'll see claims being made that you owe tens of millions of pounds, and you'll be having some real worry about that. It's not nice. But if you've got a lot of these lines of argument prepped, one, it helps you emotionally, but two, if you can clearly articulate them, you can quite often just completely win the argument. And your IBM auditor will just accept it, and then they just reducing the total amount that they're saying you owe them.
So it's almost like who has the more accurate and correct view of the contracts and the terms and so on.
The overall position, yeah, and there are various aspects to the position, various angles you can tackle it from. I'm lucky I enjoy that side of things. I enjoy that part of the role, and clearly that's my gig. But yeah, you can really win. It make massive savings by paying close attention to what you're being told, and by exploring things, evidencing things, articulating things clearly back to an auditor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Kevin. That brings this session to a close. This has been part 4 of a series of videos on the recent changes IBM have made. There's a wider range of videos on software licensing related topics on our SAM YouTube playlist below. You can also review our content on LinkedIn by using the hashtag #SamVideoChat. And finally, if you have a licensing concern or would like to understand how your IT project could impact your enterprise license position, please contact us for an initial complimentary consultation at version1.com/contact. Thank you.